Yeah, just a quick video, just a quick update. So I just had a bit of time on my hand and just thought I'd have a look at some old faces, see how they was covering things, events, and so yeah, I went to UK column, just like I said, to see how they was dealing with events, and yeah, I noticed they've changed their scenery. I hadn't really been watching them or clocking them as far as I'm concerned. I'd covered that, but yeah, with time on my hand I thought I'd have a look, and well, let me play the video, you'll see what I mean about the scenery. And this is the actual date when they changed the scenery, talking about the UN and you know, the little get together they have once a year, and talking about 2019-2020 future events. And so on the day that Brian's there making a video about the UN talking about future events, Brian's got a new scenery, and in the corner, in the right hand corner, is the lighthouse. Yeah, it's interesting with what's going on at the moment with the 5G towers being installed while we're still on lockdown. So we learned the other day about the £20 note with the lighthouse stroke transmitter. Anyway, he doesn't really cover the 5G thing also. That's what I noticed looking at his channel. It's not really jumping out at me. 5G concerns. Watching his videos, let me just stop waffling on and show you what I mean.
Good afternoon, it's Monday the 24th September 2018, just after 1 o'clock. Welcome to UK Column News. Your host today, Mike Robinson, myself, Brian Gerrish. Well, Mike, I've got to say, it's excellent to be here in the new studio and to be able to look out and see a little bit of the weather and what's happening over Plymouth Sound is a pleasure.
Well, we're going to get straight on with the United Nations General Assembly, who they've just put out a lovely video clip today. Here it is. This September in New York starts tomorrow morning. Now, every year in September, of course, as they say, global leaders and change makers gather together for 2 weeks to discuss the burning issues of our time and set the global agenda for the year ahead. So this is the 73rd session of the UN General Assembly. They're going to have what they call the general debate beginning tomorrow. 115 national leaders turning up for that. And I was just sort of wondering what kinds of things to be talking about. Obviously, war is high on the agenda, or the potential for war. So they claim that they're going to make some kind of statement on peace and peacemaking. Well, they're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, like making the United Nations relevant to all people, global leadership and shared responsibilities for peaceful, equitable and sustainable societies. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't get a warm feeling.
Well, no, and neither you should, because
Global agenda. So there we go. The lighthouse. So like I say, he's done this video, he's changed his scenery. Alright, it's his local area or whatever, the place where he's got nearby the lighthouse is there, or is it just an internet feed on the television screen? I don't know, but he's decided to change the scenery. He's got this lighthouse there. Then 2019-2020, after these people have had this meeting, he's going on about 5G is being rolled out while everyone's on lockdown due to this virus that's going around. And then you got people saying that the virus is because your body's fighting off the radiation. It's your immune system that's making the virus to fight the bacteria, the bad bacteria or whatever, the damage that's happening to your body. So that's why it looks similar to other things or what's being told. Yeah, so like I said, I think these people are just there to control and manage. They've had past events where they've shown they've had previous knowledge. The Hampstead case, Brian's aware about it in 2014. He doesn't really say anything about it until 2015, but after he was forced into, because he wasn't really saying anything. And then after that, Brian's on the airwaves talking about the Hampstead case. And
well, that brings us on very nicely to the Hampstead child abuse. Now, this is a story that we've had to sit tight on, whilst there's been quite a lot of angst and outrage, which is understandable, on the internet about this case. I'm going to say that UK Column was aware very early on.
Wasn't it?
September last year. We've had the pleasure of meeting the mother of the children and her partner.
This is the Hampstead cover-up, and we're joined once again by Ella and Abraham. So we've been talking about the court dates that's coming up, and some big information where you're going to expose people that was dealing with your case. So I mean, if I just step back and you guys can explain to the wider public what's actually going on with your case at the moment, the Hampstead case.
Charitable with their charitable scams. They are charity scammers. They have been. It's not the first time they've been caught out doing this, and the reason they are not prosecuted for this, we feel, is because they are linked to the government, to the cult, via Belinda Mackenzie directly, who we believe is an MI5 operative. And our experience with these people shows us that we should have had nothing to do with them. And we disassociate from them publicly now.
Which is quite overdue already. But of course, we were, until we had hard evidence, we were
reluctant to
release it. We wanted to give them a chance.
Because when Brian spent the day with me, Brian Garish, Ella was at court for the first day of the hearings.
The proceedings.
The proceedings, yes. And so she was unaware that I had given them the audio. And so it didn't click. But it wasn't until later that we both realised that the only person who had any audios was Brian Garish, as a special police sergeant. The only other person ever sent that information to was Brian Garish. Now, Brian Garish and Bill Maloney were both aware of that email. Brian on the 11th of September, Bill on the 15th of September 2014. They were both aware of the email and its content. None of them have said anything. The only time Brian covered the story was 6 months later, when it was in the mainstream media, when the Daily Mail and others did an attempted hatchet job on Ella and myself. And then Brian was obliged to mention the story on UK Column. Now, within those emails, you want to say something? Within those emails are references to the tattoos and the drawings the children made. 2 years earlier, Bill Maloney, he was privy to an interview that the fellow Andrew, who was abused by Leon Britton, gave to newspapers. And in this interview, Andrew explained that he'd been abused by Leon Britton, and Leon Britton had a tattoo on his pubenta. And Andrew drew the tattoo. And Bill Maloney, in his telling of the story, he was perceivably stressed when he was telling the story to Lou Collins. Now, Lou Collins, she said on the day that Brian covered the story, he said that he'd been sitting on it for 6 months. She said Bill's aware of the story and he's working quietly in the background. So we were wondering what work Bill was doing in the background. And he knew about Leon Britton's tattoo, and so when he received our file, he knew that this story was legit. So I want to know why Bill Maloney has said nothing about this case. Why, Bill? Why have you said nothing about the Hampstead case when you know it's legitimate, son? Eh? And you, Brian Gary, why have you said nothing when you know it's legit and you had the emails and you passed them on to Bill Maloney and whoever else you passed them to? This is the question we want to know, but we know the answer. Your shield's the pair of you, and you're being exposed now. 11, listen to this one though. Forgot a number.
I've got the 5-0 off me at the moment. They're on me.
Who's on ya?
5-0, they're right over me.
Over you, listen, blood. Who is 5-0?
Can you hear them? Can you hear them?
5-0. Yeah. No, we don't read it.
What you done to me, bro? Yes, mate. Mate.
You stay blessed.
I need to find out it's all good because we all know now, innit?
Even though he did do that little move there to cover his back, he still didn't really come out too good from that. There was still a lot more questions to be answered that never really got answered by Brian. It just, he just ignored it. Yeah, so there's been a lot of concerns with Brian, and like I said, I just thought I'd have a look today just to see how he was dealing and covering things, and quite obvious he's controlling and managing the situation. He's not talking about the main concerns or what most people's talking about around the world. And then the other person I looked at was Sam the blogger. S. Williamism, an old friend of Brian's, or probably still friends, work colleagues, shall we say. So let's have a look at Sam S. William and see what's going on there now. So when I went to his channel, basically he hasn't done nothing for about a year, but he's done one about 5G. I watched this video now thinking maybe I've got Sam wrong. And see, the thing about Sam, he's got good info, and he covers things from an angle, where you're gonna learn certain things. But the thing is, like, the angle I look at Sam now, I look at him like Brian. They're in the know. They know certain things. They know certain info, or they're told a certain line to follow to make people follow them. Follow me lead. Remember, this is just my opinion, my thoughts, just what I've observed, and so they're just there to control and manage, basically. So, like I said, he's done this 5G video because Sam's always covering his back. So when you look back, you can say, oh yeah, well, Sam covered 5G. But as we're going to see, when it comes to the health concerns, the health risks that people seem to be having now, and justified why, especially as it's being installed why everyone's on lockdown, which doesn't seem right. Sam doesn't have no concerns about the health risks, even though in this video he makes it aware that he's come across people that's got these concerns, but he calls it the conspiracy group or something like that. Well, anyway, I'll play you the video and you can see what I'm talking about. The way that the subject gets manipulated by people that are in the know of future events, but they have to make it be not seen, not talked about, and I'll just say this, there's people out there saying that a lot of people's going to be affected by this, like a real lot of people. And then you got other people saying that it's not going to affect everyone. So let's say it doesn't affect everyone, but even if it does affect like 40,000 here and 40,000 there and 40,000 over there, and it's mainly old people, people with disabilities or health concerns, does that justify anything like that rolling out? You know, the wildlife, the trees, any kind of life being affected by this stuff. Does that justify faster internet? I don't think it does it? You know, there's not enough studies done on this, but there's a few videos out there with concerned people and their footage of different things, and claims that it's all down to these frequencies and that, which, you know, it's 5G now, then it'll be 6G, 7G, so if it don't affect us now, when will it affect us? 9G, 10G, when we're old? You know, what about our children? How are they going to be growing up? Is it a healthy environment for them, or are they going to be ill earlier, faster, because, you know, no one studied the health risks, but anyone that has gets rubbished, claiming that, you know, there's no health risk, but obviously there is, but, you know, people get affected by these things for many different reasons. And with this 5G now, what if they can turn it up and down? You know, people saying they can direct it, you know. Or if they just turn it up, leave it up, turn it down, you know, they could do anything with it. Anyway, I'm waffling on a bit. Let's check out Sam the 5G. Let me try and find a bit.
Got me thinking about 5G. Literally just no head, no plaque, no nothing. That's a bit weird. I'm just desperately trying to find somewhere I can film where it's not blowing a gale. In most videos that will talk about 5G, that you could term, I guess, conspiracy videos, they'll tell you that, you know, 5G is bad because of the effect on biology and the human body, and that the radiation will be absorbed by our pores and injected into the deep parts of our body, and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas what really interests me about it is its use by the surveillance services, because the thing about 5G, or rather what they say is the pitfall, or one of the pitfalls of 5G, is that it is easily absorbed by everything, which means it doesn't pass through stuff like ordinary radio signals might. So they have to have, or they're going to have, you know, a mast every 100 meters or whatever, to make sure that everybody can get covered in electromagnetics. But that piqued my interest because, of course, if specifically anything moving between, say, your mobile phone and the nearest mobile phone mast, if that is absorbing the signal and there's disruption in the signal, or a dimming in the signal that the mast receives, that can actually be used to create a point cloud and therefore image anything that is there.
Anyway, do you see what I'm saying? You know, he's made it quite clear there that he's aware that there's people out there with concerns about 5G, and he hasn't really like given any links to that. Just double check. No links to concerns about 5G, because Sam's not concerned about 5G, and he doesn't want you to be concerned about 5G. You know, like a lot of people in the mainstream media are trying to say there's no concerns. But what concerns me is, why are they putting it up when there's lockdown? Why are they claiming that there's virus and it's just essential workers? It's going up everywhere. I mean, and then there's claims that the street lights, before all of this even happened, were already installed with Wi-Fi, probably 4G. You know, so you got 4G in the lights, or maybe 5G in the lights, and then you got these big poles going up everywhere, and I mean everywhere. One place I saw, a cinema complex, you know, bowling place and that, big place. One of them was actually in the petrol station, at the back of the petrol station, but actually in the grounds of the petrol station. So I just thought I'd film these towers here. There's one there. There's another one just behind the tree there. One just further down the road there. So that's 3 on this road. There's 3 on this road. And just round the corner from here is like a cinema complex. But we'll go down there and have a look now anyway. See it, there's a petrol station. Just here. Cinema complex just behind us. So there's the pole. There's the petrol station. There's the cinema complex there. I can't see any more. Well, this one's a bit boring right next to the petrol station. So we have another one. Just the other side of the petrol station. Another one. Yeah, that's a bit worrying. Next to the petrol station. One there. One there. Alright, so we got a bit of surveillance out with the 5-0 helicopter. I did see a police van, that was the security guards wanting to know why I'm filming. And I first come across this on a video. I watched a guy in Jamaica, and obviously he had concerns about that, because obviously when you go to get petrol, you see the warning sign on there, you know, to turn your mobile phone off, because the phone call could set a spark off with the petrol. And you got these big antennas right next to the petrol station, let alone the schools, you know. And yeah, I need to run some tests. I'm hoping to get some meters. I've got 1 meter at the moment that's getting readings everywhere. But yeah, I need to get some more meters, do some more readings. I don't really want to sit down waiting for meters to come in, and but yeah, at the moment I just thought I'd just share my thoughts about me looking back at a couple of people and seeing how they're covering things. But obviously I'm coming with the angle now, with the knowledge that I've learnt about these people, coming from the angle that they've got inside information, they're in the know, and they're there to control and manage the information. Yeah, so anyway, better explain myself here. So just gonna look at Sam, the blogger, S. William-ism. Just gonna look at him a little bit closer. Yeah, I've been looking at his logo, his intro for a while, trying to find some kind of alternate meaning, you know, because obviously I've got my suspicions about Sam. So basically, I'm going to reverse the video. I'm also going to mirror the video and just see where it brings out. It seems to bring up a bit more. And with what's going on at the moment with the 5G and all that, yeah, you could look at it from that angle. You know, posts going up, 5G posts, sounds like it's got a humming noise to it, which obviously these things make. Also, I'm going to look at the interview that me and Sam, well, not an interview, I'm going to look at the video that has the Skype call of me and Sam when he wanted to Skype me to explain things to me. And I tried to explain to him that I sent an email, and he explained to me that he's so busy that he hasn't got time to reply to emails, but he managed to read the email. He confirmed that, but he hasn't got the time to reply to emails, but he took the time out to give me a Skype call. So, you know, looking back, it just doesn't make sense that you was willing to give me a Skype call, but you couldn't email me. And then when you're Skyping me, you just wanted to start from the beginning. You didn't want to listen to what I had to say to clarify the email. You wouldn't debate. So yeah, looking back, you know, if you ain't got time for the email, why did you give me time for the Skype call?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm on an Android device.
Can you Skype on the phone? Weird.
Yeah.
I can only just about hear you, but it's like muffled and shit.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not on the best setup. It's taking me a day to get this to work. I'm just on an Android pad, so I'm not really at my location.
Because you're a bit of a scrub lord, so you only have like shit machinery.
I'm a bit of a what?
Scrub lord. I was just like setting the boundaries, like by taking the piss out of you, as in, I'm like, I know that like Tron exists, as in we're not always like saying exactly what we mean, especially when we're like typing shit down. But I don't really want to talk to you too much. So you want to talk to me? I'm not going to be rude. Okay, I'm just going to answer the question you asked me about Brian Garrett. I'll explain if you want. If you really want the explanation, I will tell you. But you have to listen to it, okay?
No problem, Will.
Okay, here we go. So I met Brian in 2013, like at Bilderberg, but I didn't really meet Brian. Who I met was Lou Collins, and Lou Collins and I met because Lou Collins' boyfriend used to live in a flat with me in South Devon when I was about 17 years old, when I lived with my brother. So Lou Collins, when I met Lou Collins, because I'm from the Southwest as well, and she's from the Southwest, they're all from the Southwest, that is the connection with me and UK Columns, that we're all from the Southwest.
Sam, the blogger.
I'm actually more excited today about my next guest. I met my next guest in 2013 in June. Previous to that, I'd seen a video of him on YouTube where he visited the Grove prior to the famous Bilderberg meeting in Watford. And we've been friends ever since. His name is Sam the Blogger. Most people have known him, S. Williamson's on YouTube. And when I spoke to him last night, because I'm a bit worried, are people actually going to know who I am? He's on the line right now. So let's bring him in now. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, you. Good morning.
All right.
How are you?
I think you summed up perfectly just how confusing I am. General audience. Somebody who knows me very well still doesn't know the name of my YouTube channel.
I know, sorry. So come on, for the benefit of the listeners, what's the correct Sam Williams?
It's S William ism ISM on the end. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Can we not change it to Sam the Blogger? Because that is what you are known by.
You coined Sam the Blogger.
By to Bilderberg.
So I went along to the Royal Courts of the Royal Courts of Justice to attend the most recent case. And when I arrived, I bumped into one of the chief campaigners, Belinda Mackenzie, and I asked her what on earth was going on. But luckily, as I left, I managed to bump into Brian Garish, the man who started the UK Column newspaper, and I asked him to clarify. So Brian, now tell us what happened in there today.
Well,
Stay away from Wikipedia.
Well, Wikipedia can be useful, but I've just had a joke with you a little bit earlier on today. If you want a big joke, go and see what Wikipedia says about me.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much.
Okay.
So, Brian Gerrish there.
Into waiting rooms. Now, of course, in that these things work on facial analysis, the idea of transferring them to facial recognition literally is like a software upgrade. So
we can make that question number 2 if you want.
Okay, so I'll ask you a question. What's Luke Collins doing now? Because I know the answer. See if you know.
What doing now?
Yeah, what are you doing now?
You tell me, you know.
She's got an office job for a magazine in South Devon to look after her children, and she has turned her back on UK Column. She talks to UK Column as much as I talk to UK Column.
Because a lot of them been exposed.
Never speak to them. Okay, then never speak to them. Okay, then let me give you the news I've got to tell you. So I'm into computer, and I'm into camera equipment and sound and music and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Would you feel like I was less of a shill if I got my guitar out and played some Bach to you and
Or you can be like Linda's friend and play Sheepo the sheep song, yeah?
At this time, on this issue. Get some good vibes going. This is called Sheeple.
Well, let's see.
Brian Gerrish, I've met him multiple times. I first encountered him when he was just in the first lawful rebellion stuff I started to get into, and I used to really respect the guy. He absolutely hates my guts now, and it makes me think that, he's gone through a schism. When I first met them, they were going through a populist bubble, and they had a guy called Malcolm Massey, and they were just a cool, albeit a bit Southwest culty, Glastonbury, attached to hippie people, that sort of thing. Go ahead. The front of Buckingham Palace, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I sent you a link, the front of Buckingham Palace, I sent you a link that had the United Nations in it as well.
I did actually read it when you first did it, and I did not. If you look back at that comment, I don't know if you edited it, but it was grammatically incomprehensible. It didn't mean anything, and I get lots of comment grammatically and just incomprehensible.
Well, I'm sorry, your brain's just on a high level, mate. Yeah. Okay.
I do not base what I'm doing for my videos on what a random person says with a random YouTube account on the thing. That's not going to influence what I make as films, okay?
Well, you got a random YouTube account. What makes your one not random and my one random? Well, I have been labelled a shill. Okay, because of something that I got involved with.
Can you listen to me a second, please?
Yeah, okay.
Let me finish.
No problem.
You're saying that the reason that you sort of accuse me of being a shill is because you're saying there's something I'm putting into my videos which is trying to manipulate people's behaviour and make them believe something it's not, which is simply not true. Well, if you think that my videos are shit and if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, then that's fair enough. You really don't have to watch it.
I explained to you, didn't I?
A guy who went to art college and I'm really good at painting and I'm really good at sculpture and I'm good at mechanics. I'm good with cars and I'm an amazing driver.
It doesn't mean anything to this conversation. You're just playing with words now. You like hearing your own voice, Sam. You want me to listen to you, but all you keep repeating is about this art thing that you've done and the education you got, and it doesn't mean nothing to me. Okay, I'm talking to you about Brian Gerrish, the UK column, Luke Collins, and the bit of info that you've just given me. It proves your link. Yeah, it's more definite now than when I was just sending you the messages via YouTube. And you've confirmed it with your own mouth. Yeah, because this is how it works, isn't it? They all live in each other's house. Do you know Belinda Mackenzie?
Yeah, I don't trust Melinda Mackenzie with a barge pole.
No, why is that?
I know, I've got some stuff about that I cannot tell you. I really cannot tell you. It's what's going on with those guys. That's the thing about UK column that I always stiff.
And what else can't you tell people? Because it's not just me you're not telling, it's all your subscribers, isn't it? All this information you got that you can't tell no one. You're sounding more and more like a gatekeeper, aren't you?
You have no idea.
I gave you a message, right? The first time I gave you a message, I sent you a message about when you were saying about the Queen and the Mayor and all that, and I said to you, oh, I saw the Mayor on the 10th, okay, and then you done a video about the number 10, okay, and then when I done this message to you about the link that I gave you, Buckingham Palace, the United Nations, the royal car with Charles that was meant to be paint bombed, you went to Buckingham Palace, right, and you stood, hang on, look, I let you talk, didn't I?
I go there every day.
I let you talk, didn't I?
What?
You know, you're not letting me finish what I need to say.
I've been, you know, did you start saying this the first time I stood at Buckingham Palace? Because I've been standing in front of Buckingham Palace for fucking years.
And, you know, I wish I knew that Hampstead thing before, because I would have asked you about that, Sam. Your Hampstead involvement with Lou Collins.
So, Louise, I know that you've had a look at the area and you found that at least some of the information that came out to the children rang true.
I had nightmares over this after seeing some of this back last year, but I decided I was going to go up to Hampstead and just check out the locations that the children were saying and whereabouts they were. And Sam the blogger accompanied me, and whereabouts they were. And Sam the blogger accompanied me.
And make sure that you're not talking about certain subjects. That's just my opinion. Anyway, look after yourselves. Stay blessed.